Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash, the one to the apostles and elders of the most honorable well. Shalom to the brothers of the wax in truth. Yeah, just kind of got a few scriptures I wanted to go into, just kind of covering about how, a perverse spirit has basically been put, on the people in this time, man. People's minds have really been put into a zone inside Esau's kingdom where, all forms of abominations are desirable and not just, suffered, they're, encouraged. They're, people are desirous to do these things, man. And it's why, because Esau sends the vibration on down. And that's why, because the Lord's basically had it where this is the kingdom where its role is to be that primary example of wickedness, going forth in abundance, man. And that's what you see. That's essentially how how the kingdom's run. And what's it resulted in? Let me read this. Isaiah 19 and 12. It says, Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord Yahweh of hosts have purposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zon are become fools, the princes of Noth are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. Yeah, now when that modern Egypt is following after the same the same stead, and that's why it's called what? Babylon the Great, man, that great merchant city Babylon, because it's that renewed Babylon, man. It's basically following after in the same spirit as the former heathen kingdoms. Same for what do you call it, Egypt as well. It's basically following after Egypt. That's why you see they'll uphold icons like parts of Egypt that are core, like these obelisks, the the pyramids on the back of the dollar bill, and what's the other one as well? But yeah, as far as for the spirit of Egypt, these guys follow after it, man. They promote it. And that's really this site is more or less like a melding of all the former heathen kingdoms that came, was basically trying to utilize all the is trying to utilize all the spirits of the different heathen kingdoms that came before. And it says what? The Lord Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Yeah. And what do you call it? The now Egypt had was hella caused to err. Now when that new Egypt, it's the same thing. It's basically been tricked. It's been beguiled into a pathway that only leads to your own destruction. It says what? Staggering your own vomit. And that's something you can see out on the streets, man. I've lost count of the amount of times that you've seen like either a guy fucking completely plastered or a girl as well, just like completely smashed, where they're fucking thrown up and then they're just passed out and they're sick. And their face is just they're gone, man. They're beyond finished. And hey, that's a perfect way to describe this current society. It's following after pathways, following after certain actions, certain what do you call it? Ways of organizing and dealing with your society, where it's equivalent to just be like, yo, being drunk and passing out and slipping over and smashing your face and your vomit that you just threw up. Which that shit ain't pleasant. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Yeah. There ain't gonna be any work. That's, the grinding's gonna cease. And what everyone's gonna, the men are gonna be as women, and then how much more so then after the actual women as well. They're gonna be completely they're gonna be the women are gonna be even more lost than the men, which are completely crumbling. And that's why, because hey, the spirit's been put out here. Everything's been moved from its natural state and natural use, and it's basically been put into some other channel, some other funkier method, and then everything's all completely out of course. But then people don't see it as such. They've just grown up where it's just like, oh yeah, that's yeah. It's just, they think these things are normalized, but what they don't realize there's spirits on them, man. You got people out here just doing all forms of madness, man. Man, I would just say like, oh, being a man or a woman, those things are. No, they even go further. They'll say they're neither man nor woman. They're just some nebulous blob floating in space. You know, meanwhile, in reality, that people are just they're just dealing like what the fuck's going on here. And that's the thing as well, is like, even when it comes to a time of trouble, time of hardship, all of that shit will go out the window. Um, Isaiah 47:10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Yeah, this is the thing with why Esau's been running with it, man. He's been deceived, man. All his wisdom and knowledge that he's got, what he's been able to attain, is basically made this guy think he's gonna be able to, take what the Most High did and say, no, you did it wrong, and then rewrite the rules of it, and then have things play out how he desires. That's just batshit insanity. For you to be trying to flip it on its head, then that's not gonna work out. That's complete and total confusion, and that's been the MO, man. That's been the MO of Esau Edom, man. Because why? That perversion. That's the thing, is Esau got the rulership seat. That perverted him too. This guy has all basically been able to enact out his will. What has he done with it, man? He's had power over Jake. How's he dealt with Jake? He's had power over the world. How's he dealt with the world? The world's in a complete state of destruction and confusion and complete and total mess. Nothing has been built up to any kind of meaningful level where it's all basically hard and fast utility of of the people, of the land, of every aspect of what Esau's brought under his control, to just for him to milk out as much of an advantage from it as possible. Make it a certain kind of lifestyle, and then afterwards, just you let the thing be destroyed. That's how Esau gets down. This guy, he's not about It's funny as well because they have it on the Georgia Guidestones. They say to live in harmony with nature, like at 500 million people. But Esau don't understand how to live in harmony with nature, man. This guy was made perverse. He was made off, man. His spirit's not upright. That's why he can't deal with these things. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon you, no, come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Yeah, evil will come upon thee. That's the thing. Them bad times are coming, and that's the reward. Because like you've basically been perverted. You've been corrupted. You know, by this wisdom you've been given. Been corrupted by the position you've been put in. You've been given the rule, and all you've done is madness. Of course, you're gonna have to get dealt with. The judgment's gonna, the tab's basically gonna have to be paid. And these are the things of why people in the world, they're in the same spirit, man. They're basically in that mindset of do as thou wilt, because they're basically going out. They're not, other than Esau. There was whenever Esau so-called utilizes his what he calls the justice system, or what he calls his so-called law and order. That's something that all the people in the world will respect. And then when Yahweh Hashem Yahushua does something, like these as they call them, natural disasters. Yeah, basically what he's having it being confirmed, on a regular basis, that he basically sent his prophets, man, because said what when the word comes to pass, that's when you know a prophet has been among you, man. That's the thing is rev on the Karagma alone, man. On the Karagma alone, you should already know the laws set his men up, and had them broadcast. Well, let's not even use that word. Had them sending out the message, from day dot, and now it's coming to fruition. Mischief shall rise. Yeah, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Yeah, that's gonna be, and it's gonna come as a surprise. It says that thou shalt not, which thou shalt not know. Because this is the thing, is with Esau all wrapped up in his own sense of pride. He's not looking at, when's what the Lord's promise gonna come to pass. He's basically thinking like, yo, I've got the run of things, man. I'm gonna maximize my utility of these things. And that's all he's got, and that's the same mindset everyone in the world's in. They're basically in trying to utilize every means, man. And this is why you'll have Jake in a world, they'll basically be falling into and completely integrating with the system. They'll be trying to work and get a job. They'll be trying to get some form of deal. They'll be trying to get a kind of carve out some form of lifestyle for themselves in here. But then attempting to do so, that's not going to work out in your favor, because there's a place that was made for the opposite of that intention. Second Thessalonians that's 2:10, and it says, and with all the Second Thessalonians 2:10, yeah, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them, that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Yeah, so this is what does deceivableness of unrighteous in them perish. Yeah, they've basically been embalmed in wickedness, man. And you know they weren't given the hey, those jakes that weren't given the truth. Then what? All they have is the lies, man, and the world, man, which is about pleasures. You're dealing with the world. This is something that's what is geared towards maximizing as much pleasure as you can, and that generally seems to be that's. And the funny thing is that that's actually the life goal of most people. That's why it's like you'll have women now because they've taken on the bugged out philosophy of modern feminism. They're a chick will be heading into her 30s, and you might mention children, and then she'll start having an allergic reaction, saying that I don't, at most I'll just leave it to like I don't know, maybe 35 or whatever. Meanwhile, like when you hit them age ranges, that shit's a wrap, man. Like as far as for women's bodies, you're basically taking way more of a risk than you need to. But why? It's because they think life is just about pleasures, enjoying yourself, maximizing as much, utilizing the vessel as much as possible on this side, and getting everything you can from it. Because otherwise, it's like doing something like raising kids. It's like what? It's like that's become something of no value. It's not a matter of what's the function of what we're meant to be doing, what we're meant to be achieving out here on the planet Earth. It's just about like that's gonna minimize. Oh, have them kids. I ain't gonna be able to travel. I ain't gonna be able to set up my business. I ain't gonna be able to live life. All these things. But then it's like, okay, but then what's your role and purpose here? And these are the things that people are doing everything in their power to flee from addressing. Uh, a strong delusion, man, because caught up in all kinds of lies. Um, fully deceived. Should I get moved in me now because it's sort of. Yeah. Okay. Jeremiah 25 and may they said themselves. So from 15. So it says, for thus saith the Most High Power of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury in my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad, because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup, the Lord Yahweh's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord Yahweh had sent me, to wit, Jerusalem. And that's, yeah, Jerusalem's first, because the same thing as Ezekiel 9, where it says what you know slay us the old and young, but begin at my house. Oh well, I think it's the house of the idol worshippers was the first spot, but it was what in Israel, that was where the judgment starts, because as far as the role of the Israelite man is to be what the service of Yahweh Shem Shai. So then we're meant to be out here, pushing out this word, and holding it down for for Yahweh Shai, for his laws, for his following the instructions we've been given on this side. So if you're not following through on that, you're basically a Jake out here, and you're trying to maximize Esau's what Esau can do on this side. Then you've marked yourself as an enemy of Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Harakakadash. As such, what then it means? That's those are the ones, those rebel elements, man. They're gonna be the ones going first. Was it Amos 9? They're gonna have to be sifted, man. It says what? Not one of the least grains shall fall. The grains that are gonna fall are gonna be those guys that basically going hand in hand with Esau. Those are guys gonna get taken out first. So this is what to make them okay. To wit Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, and astonishment, and hissing, and a curse, as it is this day. Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ascalon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, the Dan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Mede, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak, which shall drink after them. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, spew and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. Yeah, that drunkenness, that being put into that stupor, where your face planting into your vomit is it's basically being lulled for when the judgment comes, man. That sword. This is what in Job, I believe, the glittering sword cometh out of the earth. That's what do you call it? Is being sharpened and furbished to punish the earth. Because all these nations that went through all the enemies, man. After Jake, all the heathen are basically right now they're feeling their got away scot-free, or they're feeling like they've got away with murder. What was oh no, we go back, because I just had the last one. They are drink ye, drunken or fall, and rise no more. I just lost the scripture. I was thinking again. So oh yeah. I remember. Goody goodness. Hidden riches, the secrets. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, Yahweh, do all these things. Yeah. So, as far as for those those raw times that are coming, you know, the bliss that Esau's been able to have, as well as, you know, the raw coldness that's coming for him, for those that basically held joined hand in hand with Esau, the promoting forward and trying to perpetuate, you know, his kingdom and his system. They've the Lord's the one who's basically masterminded the scenarios that are gonna befall you. And that's really what people don't realize, man. There is judgment. There is gonna be a recompense for your actions as such, and that's like one of the biggest, if not, you know, one of the biggest lies Esau's pushed out is you know, you can just be out doing anything, any form of madness that your heart desires, and everything's gonna, you know, it's just gonna be fine and work out. You might even be blessed in doing it, and that's, you know, what Esau tries to do. But then what? The reality is like, yo, it's all vanity. All these things are vanity, because it's like people that pursue those things, they get into all form of madness. A lot of these guys end up offing themselves, man. The guys that aim for like that super high level of fame, they'll get, and they'll just be like, okay, yeah, that's kind of lame, or they'll fucking just off themselves, or they might do it for a bit and then just fade out, man. And then you have people where they cling on to it and try and make it last forever, but then what? It's not gonna work out in your favor in doing so. Yeah, the Lord's gonna request or require his due when the time comes, man. But yeah, yeah, I'll leave it there. Say your prayer, see how by Shem Yahshua, by Shem Kakadash. Don't want to see apostles and elders, great most on the rule well. Shalom. Shalom.